take time. They want to see you using it more than just a couple months. So
I love it. Consistency. They're like, oh, you ain't messing around. You're still on the Juice Plus. And you're like,
yeah.
oh, I love it. All right, a couple more wins, and then we're going to jump into the call.
Yes, I had a guy order the quad. He's getting off some multivitamins and supplements. And a lady that's been checking out Juice Plus for probably about 8 months has gotten on, and she's a shredder. She's shredding right now. She actually started a week before us, but she's excited. She's noticing some differences.
Awesome. I love it. Hey, since I think most of us on this call are shredding right now, something that like I was like, oh my gosh, it's already day 2. I texted some of my shredders today and encouraged them to post, and a couple of them were like weary about it, but then they did. So just go and encourage your shredders to post something, even if it's like the most simplest post, just to get some engagement in that group, especially for like brand new shredders, Megan, like your girl. So awesome. Well, I see Casey's on the call. Megan's on. Megan's going to give us some awesome wisdom tonight on mindset, on how to be an entrepreneur, and just shifting. I think a lot of us, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us have had an employee upbringing. You know, we all have been employees at one point, signed a W-2, did that whole shebang, which is great, but shifting to an entrepreneur mindset is not, it's not always easy, but with intention, it can work, and it can bring a completely new perspective to just what this business can do for you. So Megan, I'm going to let you share what's on your heart tonight and what you've been preparing for this call. And then Casey will take it from there.
Okay. Thanks, Emily. This is an exciting topic for me because I've been doing this for a while, and I definitely come from an employee background. So for me, it was bookkeeping and accounting, and then waitressing and bartending. And so clocking in, clocking out, getting those hours for dollars, we've all heard that, right?
Hey,
what
Megan,
else comes along with that? You know,
I'm going to mute everyone out real quick, and then you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
That way there's no background.
Yes. Perfect. So trading hours for dollars as an employee also comes with having to ask for time off. And typically, you only get around 2 weeks out of the whole year, and a lot of times you can't take those 2 weeks all at once, and you can't accrue it. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I know that's the case for my husband anyways. And nowadays there's not a guarantee for retirement packages. There's no guarantee that if you put in the time, they won't let you go. And then if you really think about all of these JOBs that we've had, how likely is it, even if you did put in all that time, that you were ever going to make it to the top, right? So employers tend to pay us just enough to keep us from quitting, but we in turn tend to only give as much as we need to and not get fired, right? And so we do just enough to get by. We work for the weekend. And that type of mindset, unfortunately, does not serve us in network marketing or owning your own business. And so what does it take to shift from the employee mind to the business mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset? So just like that waitressing job that I had or that bartending job, you kind of have to shift from that into, say you got promoted to manager, right? Or even decided to buy the business. Now what, right? Now you're managing other people and you're having to make all the decisions. So you have a bigger responsibility, and you get to own all the things that go right, but you also have to own all the things that go wrong. And so as you work your business, you have to stop and ask yourself along the way, would I do business with myself? Would I eat at my restaurant? And so how do you develop that? Well, personal development, right? So we always encourage people to read GoPro, listen to Eric Worre, Jim Rohn, have a business coach. So that leads into continuously learning. fortunately, we get to earn as we learn in this business, right? How awesome is that, to build a paycheck while you learn? Most of the times, you go to school, right? 2 to 4 years, and then you get out, you have a certificate or a degree. If you want a bachelor's or master's, you have to go a lot longer than 2 to 4 years. Doctors and engineers, how long do they go to school before they get to start making a paycheck? And then they still have to be trained on the job, right? So same thing when you enter network marketing, right? We have a lot easier way of getting in, but then we still have to take the time to learn what that means and how to work our business. And so I really stuck with me. One of the first big events I went to in Nashville, Tennessee, they said, think about this as your Juice Plus University, right? Invest that time, those first 2 to 4 years, to really build your degree in this business, right? But don't stop learning. You have to have those continuing education units. So never stop learning along the way. So that's always stuck with me. So know that in the beginning, as you grow your business and you're still learning, that always is like, it's not coming fast enough, right? So I'm not maybe reflecting in dollars what I've put in time or hours, but as you build those 2 to 4 years, that time is going to totally have been invested, and now your paycheck's going to reflect that, right? So now you're going to have more time freedom with a bigger paycheck to play with. So how do you build that up and get that way? So you've got to have vision and create goals. And Emily has been so good in helping me learn that. And so creating a roadmap. When you're an employee, your boss tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You're always focused on what needs to be done now. But when you're in business for yourself, right, we have to think about what we do today or don't do today is not only going to affect our business today, but tomorrow, 3 months down the line, 3 to 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. So we have to create that roadmap. So if we want to get to XYZ, we've got to start with ABC, right? So creating that vision and keeping those goals, short-term goals and long-term goals. And what's going to keep you focused on those goals? Passion. So this is where I think we have a major advantage over being an employee, right? We have passion for something that we do, for what we're sharing. It's a plus, but it's also a must, because if you don't have passion for what you're doing, you're not going to get up and do the necessary evils, right, to keep moving forward and do what you need to do to grow your business. So you got to remember that you're steering the business and not just riding along like an employee does. So instead of just working in it, you're always working on it. So you got to be willing to live it and breathe it. The other thing is breaking outside of the box, right? So that means a couple of different things. In ideas, right? Creativity. So typically as an employee, you get told what to do, how to do it, right? You have to ask if you can do it a different way. Maybe you have a new idea. You've got to pass it up the ladder. But in this business, you get to give yourself permission, right, to be as creative as you want, how you share it, where you share it, how often you share it. And so that's really been a big deal for me, because I always, was used to having somebody tell me how to do it, when to do it, and giving me that permission. And it's taken a lot to learn that I get to give myself that permission. And what that looks like. Breaking out of the box also means breaking outside of your comfort zone box, right? So making uncomfortable your new comfort zone. I did that by breaking out of my cubicle into the yoga studio, and breaking out of the yoga studio into network marketing. And so I'm constantly looking to stretch that box and make it a new box, right? So the other step for that is start now. Right? Shifting that mindset from the employee to the entrepreneur. Typically, most people underestimate the time that it takes to make that shift. So the good point is that you get to do this alongside your job. So you can start building that mindset, start learning now, start taking those baby steps, do this right alongside whatever else that you're doing, build into that. And then as you've invested that part-time timeline, right, then you can eventually, if you want to, walk away from that job and reap all the benefits that this has to offer. And then another really important thing that I constantly have to remind myself is, are you open for business, right? You don't have a brick and mortar store to walk into. So you don't have lights to turn on, a sign to turn around, and a door to open. So people don't know that you're open for business unless you're letting them know, right? So in network marketing, we're basically word of mouth advertising, right? So we do that all the time. Who's your doctor? Who do you take your car to be repaired to? Where did you get those really cute shoes? Where did you buy those clothes? Oh, I went down to Target, you know, or I went to the mall. Did they send you a paycheck for sending those people down there? You know, oh, I got my car fixed at the dealership. Did they send you a paycheck? Juice Plus wants to send you a paycheck. So make sure people know that you're open and go for the no. Don't be afraid of the no's. So that's always a big deal, right? We get scared. We talk ourselves out of it. We get nervous. We take it personally. But I have been following a really great coach since a different business that I did. And she says, if you were getting on a plane and it was about time to take off, and you reached into your purse and you pulled out some gum to help with the ear popping, you would probably turn to the person next to you and say, would you like a piece of gum? And if that person said no, are you going to shove the gum down in your purse and go, I'm never sharing gum with anybody ever again? No, you would probably turn to the other person and say, would you like a piece of gum? And if they said no, that would probably be okay too, because if you went around that entire plane and offered everybody a piece of gum, bet somebody's going to say yes, right? So is your business open, and are you letting people know?
I love it, Megan. So many golden nuggets. I think that's incredible. All right, I'm going to let Case take over.
Thank you, Megan. That was awesome. I've never heard that analogy, and I love it. It's so true. We don't get our feelings hurt if people say no about a lot of things, or shut down when they say no to a lot of things. So I love that mindset. I want to keep this as close to 20 minutes as we can, but I did want to talk about a couple things. Number one, being conference. We talked this morning on our NMD call about conference, and just it always, I don't know how it happens, but I feel like it always sneaks up on me. Even when I'm like, yeah, we're 3 months out, we're 2 months out, whatever. It just always comes so quick, and I'm so excited to go to Phoenix and just be in the warm weather and sunshine and just be with my people. And for those of you who haven't been to a conference, I just wanted to just share a little bit about that, and just a show of hands, who is for sure going to be at conference in April? Yes. So awesome. So I still haven't bought my plane tickets, y'all. That's a real thing. And it's not too late is what I'm saying. So I just want to invite those of you who are unsure, thinking about it, maybe haven't thought about it. We want to talk to you about it more, and we don't have like all the time to go into that today. But if anyone wants to jump in and just share like their conference experience, or why they love it, or what they're looking forward to, I would love just like a couple people to give some input, and just to hear from you guys.
Hey, I was just going to say really quickly, I was not on the Juice Plus team when I went to conference. I was just lucky enough to get to go, and just being there in the midst of all of it and seeing all those real people with all those real life stories and things that they had been through and created and happened. It was amazing. And it was life-changing. So go to conference.
I love that, Jordan. That's where I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
So earlier, well, actually it was last month, I was staying with a former Olympian who is one of the top earners, or close to, in our business. And he said this phrase to me, and I will never forget it. But he was like, all 5, 6, and 7-figure earners go to conference. And so if you want to be one of those people, you have to go to what Megan said, that university, or Juice Plus University. And it's awesome that with our business, we just pay $50 a year to run it. Whereas like if you were to start a Starbucks or something, like that costs like $300,000. It is so inexpensive to invest in your future with Juice Plus. And so conference is just hands down my favorite event each year, because you get to see all your friends from all across the nation. And like Megan said too, you get to earn as you learn. So it's incredible. And yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria. Just thinking about that. So I know for me personally, I've grown up in this community. So I think I get kind of like used to that a little bit. And I don't like that, because thinking about like being around like-minded people, like it's one thing to connect like this on Zoom virtually, you know, every week like we do, but it's an entirely different thing to be in a city like with 7,000 like-minded people who are just like full of life and happy, energetic, healthy people. It's so crazy. Like the emotion that invokes is, I can't put into words. So just come to conference. If nothing else, it's just fun. And it's 3 days that you can like be around your people and just fill your cup. That's honestly what it's about, is to fill your cup so that you can go back into the world and do this and share this with other people, and get a bigger picture, like see what we're really up to beyond myself or beyond Emily or beyond Megan. You can't even like put that into words, honestly. So that's why you just have to go. So we'll talk details if you're at all interested. The last thing that I just wanted to touch on really quickly is launch calls. So I know a lot of us on here have been talking about it, maybe recently doing them. They kind of launched that last conference in the fall. And honestly, I'm just kind of coming around to them, I'm going to be honest. But people are having so much success with them. And so I just wanted to, again, hear from you guys who have been doing them or who have done them, like how it went, kind of the feedback, like the verbiage that you used to invite people to your launch call, and just share some things around that.
Even though I've been in this for a few years now, I set up a launch call. I think it's a great resource to have. And I had quite a few people jump on, people that were customers, people that weren't. It was a great introduction to both the product and the business in a non-salesy way. I got a lot of really great feedback. And I think it's an awesome way to also just reach out to people that maybe you haven't talked to in a while, to get their input on your call.
Yeah, I love that, Megan. I was on yours and I loved it. Anyone else have anything about launch calls?
I think like the thing that stood out to me the most when launch calls were launched was having that, of course, having people on live, but having that launch call recorded so that you can send that piece to someone when they ask you about what you're up to, because they can hear multiple different stories. They get to see your face, because most of the time people want to be a part of what you're doing and they want to see your face. Not saying that the company's videos aren't awesome. I think they're getting better, but whoever's asking you about either the product or the business, they want to see your face. They want to hear your story. And so, we say right off the bat and the launch calls, like, put your credit cards away. Like, we're not going to sell you anything. And even for someone who's interested in the business or the product, you could always send it to them and just be like, so the first, 10 minutes is product, but if you're wanting to learn more about the business, that's at the end too, and vice versa. So it's just an awesome piece of it's an awesome resource to have once your launch call's done, because we do record them. So that's what stood out to me the most, which is having your own personal like launch to have in your back pocket when someone asks you what you're doing.
Sure. Love that. All right, y'all. Well, that's all I had. I don't know if you
Maybe I'm just kind of thinking, and we could get like a vote. Maybe we'll post on the Facebook page, but would you guys find it helpful if we did a demo of a launch call in the next couple of weeks on a training so that you guys see what they are? I think practice makes perfect. I did Megan's launch call, and it was my first one. I had done one a while back, but I was like, okay, I need to practice. So part of it's just like diving in and doing them. But do you guys think it would be helpful to do one on a team call together? And then that way we could all practice sharing our stories. Like someone can run it, someone can be the host of it, and then we can all go through and share our stories. And maybe we could prepare with like our 2-minute story, that precious little baby.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen Donnie hold a baby, and I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm sure your heart's melting. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for getting on tonight. Thanks, Case, for going over conference and launch calls, 2 awesome ways to build your business. And Megan, all of your golden nuggets were amazing. I'm going to always remember, don't stop sharing the gum with people. You're going to hear no's, but you'll eventually get a yes. So thanks for hopping on, guys. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.